As global supplies are still not back to normal, the wait lists for vehicles are still growing. In this video, I will go through the Lexus UK sales for March and see if things have improved so that we can get a sense on the situation in UK. Hey, it's LSFT here today, and today we're here to look at the UK sales. We've looked at the UK sales every month since sometime last year, and now we're looking at March 2023. We will now look at how things are going on every model that they continue to sell and see if things are improving over time. And you'll be seeing videos like this every month once I get the information, and hopefully we'll be able to see things are getting better and we're getting breaking like sales months every month going forward. But as we all know, it's still not back to normal. So let's get to it and see where we are. So let's start with the UX. So the UX, you can see it started off the year extremely bad because when you look at it, 86 units in January, and now March, being supposedly getting 700 units, are getting only 315. And the total sales is still 439 for the first 3 months. That seems to be a pretty bad situation. But now, when you look at the UX Electric, it started off the other way around. It sold 106 in January, but in March, it's still a little bit under what it should be compared to last year, 78 units. And also, they've actually increased the battery capacity in the UXE. So that should actually give better range, but it still doesn't look like it's getting any better at this point. So looking at the total of the UX, 372 is still not very good. It's better than when it initially launched in March 2019, but it's still nowhere close. In the ES, you can see breaking month is 280 in 2021, and this year it was 244, which is very comparable. And then when you look at the total months, I think this year it's actually gone better. Like 221 plus this seems to be better for all the months that we see in from 2019 till today. So I think it's actually a good month for the ES. So last year, in the first 3 months, they sold 381 ESs versus this year, 532. So it's a good year for the ES at this point. The LS, extremely low volume, 2 sold in the first 3 months. And when you look at it, 10 in the past 3 years, anyways. So it's something that we don't really need to look a lot at. Let's go to LC. LC, they sold 13 in March. That seems quite good, right? So they have 21 sold for the year. And when you look at last year, 48. So in the first 3 months, they almost sold half of what they sold last year. But when you look at 2021, 64, so they're about a third, which still better. I think overall it's still better than the previous years. Again, but it's a low selling model, so we're not going to be seeing like hundreds going out the door for the LC. Let's move over to the left side, the NX. So in UK, there is the NX 350H and the NX 450H Plus. They do not have the gas only version, so there's only two models. So in 2023, you can see in 2019 they sold 1,149. That record is actually a little bit hard to break, right? When you look at it. So 279 is comparable to last year, but not that much. Looking at 454 for the first 3 months, and if you look at last year, 479, it's still a little bit under. So they're 20 something under last year. So numbers don't look as great. Because when you look at 2021, 1,113, we're nowhere close to that. So the NX hybrid still seems to be a little bit low, and hopefully that will improve because when you look at April, May, June, they weren't selling a lot. Let's see if these numbers will increase, and hopefully by the time If you're on the waiting list, these numbers will be coming higher than normal. Then we look at the plug-in hybrid. So we did well in the first 2 months. 163 versus 84, 77 versus 58, and in March, 283 versus 288. So very, very close. And selling 523. So they're selling more plug-in hybrids in UK than hybrids. That seems to be a good story. But for the folks in the Americas, like Canada and US, who's still waiting for their plug-in hybrid, it's a bit sad because they're actually getting way lower stock for the plug-in hybrids. So when you look at the first 3 months of 2022, 430 units compared to 523, meaning they actually did almost 100 more units in the first 3 months of 2023. That seems to be a good story to tell. Looking at the RC, it looks like a mirror. 001 and 001. So it looks like the RC, again, another low volume unit. They sold one in March, same as last year. Nothing to be too surprised about. Then we go down and look at, actually, before we do that, let's go to the NX total. So in 2022, they sold 909 units for the NX. And this year, for the first 3 months, they sold 977. So still not a lot difference, but it's still about 60 something units more, which means supply is very similar or the demand in the UK is low. I don't know which one it is, but we can see there's an increase of supply. We can skip CT and GS because those have stopped production. And then let's move down here. Let's move down to the RX. So RX has been very good in 2019, and if you look at 2020, 2022, things have gone down a little bit. And then 2023, 46 RX hybrids in January, 41, and 111. So again, keep in mind this is a new model year for the RX. So the first 3 months is 198 units. That's almost January 2022 sales. So there seems to be something wrong, right? Well, we will have to see the combination with the RX 450h Plus and see if that actually brings the numbers close to where it was last year or the previous few years. So they did not have the RX plug-in hybrid in January, but they started producing them in February and having them delivered to the UK. 41 in February and March 145. So you can see, similar to the NX, they're selling more plug-in hybrids than hybrids in UK. They sold 145 in UK in March versus 111 of the hybrids in for March as well. So looking here, they still haven't, because January was not a month they got any deliveries, but 186 versus 198 this year. I think next month we probably would see the plug-in hybrids going up, and they will be selling more RX 450h pluses over the RX 350h. So when we look at the total of the RX, you can see here, the first 3 months of 2023 they sold 384. But when you look at 2022, it seems like they've actually sold way more, 559. So that is still about 100 and something units missing. But I think, again, it's a brand new model year. Hopefully, people are probably waiting for the RX 450h Plus based on the demand that they're selling here. And if they're doing that, then maybe we'll start seeing more numbers come in for the upcoming months. We'll have to see, because if you look at the next quarter, 534, which is very similar, and if they continue this trend of 384, I think we may need to figure out what does that all mean. But at this point, let's look at April, May, and see if the numbers will actually reflect. But again, I think the NX is a better car for UK, as the RX may be too big for many folks in UK. And we have one RZ sold. So If you are the owner of the RZ in March in UK, you are the only one. And if you are the one who's watching this video, leave a comment below and let me know you're the one, because you're the lucky one who actually got the RZ. And then I put an LM because it just got announced, but I don't think you'll be seeing that number any further anytime soon. So let's look at the total. So in 2022, the first 3 months, 3,141 units. But in 2023, it's only 2,559. So we are still looking at about 600 units under. So what does that mean? So I think that means we're not recovered yet, because we're still nowhere close, because even if we look at previous 2021, that's still under, and these numbers are way more, 4,000 some units in 2020. So still need some time there, I would say. But I have seen recently, I've driven by a Toyota dealership, which during the shortages, I've seen the lot being empty. And I drove by a few days ago and I saw a whole lot of Highlanders. So what does that mean? They're producing more vehicles now. So I'm hoping that this trend will continue, and the next few months, these reports are probably just for your interests rather than looking at what it does it look like at this point. So I'm just going to scroll down and do my typical NX numbers, and you can see here, not a breaking month, not a top selling, 1,262 for 2018 was a very good year. 562 still seems almost the lowest. So numbers are still not good in UK. But I'm hoping the next few months, especially the last 2 quarters of the year, we will start seeing these numbers go higher. And hopefully, at that time, when I do produce the video, I'll say that I'm right. But, anyways, I hope this information is good for you guys. This is what you need, and this is what you're interested about. And I'll continue to produce these videos, and I'll talk to you again next month, when we have these numbers. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please comment, like, and share this video. If you'd like to see more videos like this, you can subscribe to my channel and press that alert button to get notified when new videos are posted. If you'd like to support the channel, you can definitely provide a super thanks. I'll see you guys again next time in the next video.